Hello guys, today we're going to talk about confidence. I've talked about confidence before in another video, and here's the thing. I'm sorry if it's a little bit dark today, because it rained, and it sucks, but anyway. So, I ended up not making 3 videos yesterday, so I'm just going to be making them every day. You know what I mean? Because I felt like it was too much. I had other things to do, and I was like, I don't want to bombard myself with so many things, so I just, one video every day, that's it. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about confidence, because I was thinking about this, and I think a lot of people don't really understand because, like, a lot of people look confident. You know what I mean? Like, maybe some people follow the advice of fake it until you make it. But I just don't really agree with that because, like, okay, you can fake it and you can, like, pretend you have this level of confidence, whatever. Like, no one's gonna know. No one knows if you're actually confident or not, but people can tell. You know what I mean? Like, if someone gets to know you well, they're gonna find out. You know what I mean? Like, there's been so many people that I've known and that I've met, like, along, I don't know, all these years that I've been alive. And they can exude confidence or they can, like, represent this level of confidence, whatever. Sometimes they talk to you like, hey, what's up, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they can talk a little bit like that. Or they can look at you like, I don't know how to make the facial expression, but, like, just patronizing, if that makes sense. And I'm just like, well, I'm always, like, really close to the camera. Like, it's actually scary. You know what I mean? Because I have myopia, so I can't really see the viewfinder. So I guess I tend to, like, go closer. I don't know. Get closer. What the fuck? So yeah, I don't know. And I've seen, because I've noticed a few people that I've met recently, especially in my internship, like, there's people who, like, can present somewhat confidently in some aspects, but, like, in other aspects, like, for instance, like, you know what people are good at, what people are not good at. You know what I mean? Like, there's people at my internship that said that they don't speak Spanish. No, they don't speak English. English is my second language. And so they don't speak English as a second language because they've always, like, struggled with it. And so they can't speak it. So if you think about it, they can be somewhat confident because they have this, like, position in the company. But when, I don't know, if there was a situation where, like, you have to speak, English, or where you have to, like, I don't know, if there's a moment where you just need it and you just don't speak the language, it's like, well, what level of confidence are you going to have? You have to be, you know what I mean? It's one of those moments that you're like, okay, this humbles me. You know what I mean? Because, like, no matter how good my salary is, no matter how, I don't know, good I am at my job, there's this thing I can't do. There's this skill I don't have. You know what I mean? And someone that doesn't have that salary, but that speaks that language, they can be like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna save the day. You know what I mean? I'm gonna save the situation. I can speak this language, whatever. Like, whatever has to happen, like, whatever I have to do, I just do it. You know what I mean? Like, they're confident about it. You know what I mean? So confidence, I think, comes with, with skill and also with practicing something. You know what I mean? I mean, how did I learn English? By practicing and practicing and practicing, just using the language. You know what I mean? There's no other way to get comfortable with it. You know what I mean? Like, at first I was really scared to speak English in front of other people because I was really just talking alone. Whenever I would speak English, it was just alone. And I wasn't confident whenever I had to speak with someone else. But then I was like, you know what? I hate this. And so I don't know when it was, but I don't know. I don't know. I think I just sort of myself like, okay, well, that's a different story. We can talk about it another day. But, like, the thing is, when you get used to speaking English, I think it was like a year later that I really started, no, like 2 years later that I started getting confident speaking English. Because I remember whenever we had to do a presentation for English class, I was fluent in all that shit, but I wasn't pronouncing like this. I was pronouncing, should I do a Spanish accent? I was pronouncing like this. So it's like a very Spanish accent, like a very, well, I can't do, I'm used to doing an American accent now, but the thing is, like, it's like very, very Spanish. And I was doing that because I was scared to speak like this. You know what I mean? And then 2 years later, no. That was in the first and second years of middle school. And then the third year of middle school, because where I live, it's 4 years of middle school and 2 years of high school. So in my third year of middle school, I was like, I am done. I speak like this. This is the way that I pronounce. I don't care if I'm Spanish and I have an American pronunciation. Do you know what I mean? I don't care if nobody else pronounces like this. I don't care if whatever. Whoever feels insecure because I speak like this, that's not my issue. Why should I pretend I have this accent for somebody else? You know what I mean? And even in college, like, sometimes my level of English was higher than some of the professors. And I was like, but I'm not going to pretend that my accent is like this. I'm not going to talk like this just to please the teacher, just to please the professor, to make them feel, okay, you're the authority anyway. You're the professor anyway. I just happen to talk like this. You know what I mean? Like, You have to be confident in your own skin. You know what I mean? I'm not going to protect the professor's, let's say, ego or whatever, or their pride by talking like this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do that. So in the third year of high school, of middle school, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to talk like this. I'm just going to talk like this because I cannot pretend I have this other accent anymore. I just can't pretend. I have to do it like this because this is the way that I talk. And since that moment, I've been talking like that forever. Although I have to mention, when I was in college, there was one time with one professor. I think this should be a whole topic on its own. But the thing is, like, there was one professor that didn't really speak English, and I was like, well, that's not my problem. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna talk normally. I still would speak really slowly so that he would understand, but he would understand my accent, if that makes sense. And so I was like, fuck, maybe I should have just done a Spanish accent and that's it for him to understand. Because I was like, we're all Spanish, so maybe I should do that. And then there was a professor whose English was also bad, and so I was like, okay, let's use a Spanish accent again. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to cause this, like, awkward situation where we're both fucking Spanish and we can't understand each other in English. I was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? But that is a different story. What I'm saying is practice and skill gives you confidence. Whenever I've had to do something, I'm like, well, I'm confident in who I am. You know what I mean? Like, I learned a language on my own. I am a responsible student. I know that if I want something, like if I want to learn something or if I want to get somewhere, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I try to get there at least. You know what I mean? Like, I had a blog growing up and I would post pretty much every week. You know what I mean? Like, I was consistent. You know what I mean? I would prove to myself this consistency, this drive. You know what I mean? This capability. You know what I mean? This sort of discipline, I guess. And that is what has given me confidence. Am I shy? Yeah, I'm shy. And some ambiances in some situations more than others, you know what I mean? But like, also talking in front of a camera, like, I am somewhat confident in front of a camera. Maybe I'm not the most confident, but I'm not like camera shy. You know what I mean? Like, I've made too many videos to be camera shy. You know what I mean? The first videos, listen, I would make podcasts, I would make, you know, blog posts and stuff like that, but I had never, and I would talk alone. Like, I usually talk alone. If I weren't talking to you guys right now, I would probably be talking alone, doing whatever, but just talking alone. And, but talking to a camera is a little bit different. So, of course, the first videos, and I can link my first channel down below, like, you can check out the first videos. Like, my first videos, I was pretty camera shy. Like, I think you can tell the difference between then and right now. I think you can tell. Like, right now, I'm more used to it. Maybe I can get a little bit more camera shy if I start growing my following. Maybe that can make me a little bit more insecure because it's like, oh my god, a lot of people are watching this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because I've heard it before. So I don't know if that can happen. And the day after tomorrow, with a friend, we are going to a high school. We're going to my old high school, and we're going to another high school the next day, on Wednesday, to give a little talk about. Oh my god, where's my? I usually have a bottle of water with me, but not this time. But anyway, and so the thing is, I was a little bit not confident because I was like, I've given presentations before, like, I've done it, I'm used to it. I even gave a speech in front of everybody at the graduation ceremony. I said it in many videos. Anyway, but the thing is, like, I've never given a presentation in front of a class, like high school students. Me, as a college student, I've never done that. And so it's kind of a different thing. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? It's like different. You know what I mean? Like, I've never done anything like that. And for a long time, I didn't want to tell anyone because I didn't want to make myself more nervous, I guess. Like, I didn't want to make it a big deal. But I'm like, wow, like, maybe I'm just, what if I fuck up what if I get nervous? You know what I mean? And then I was thinking, because the other day I made the script for the presentation and I organized more or less what I was going to present, and I was feeling better. I was like, okay, now I know what I'm going to talk about. And then today, hopefully, my friend and I can put everything in the template, and then hopefully I can practice a little bit today, and then I'm going to practice a little bit tomorrow. And the thing is, like, why have I always been confident in presentations? Because I know what I'm going to talk about, and I know everything that I have to say, and I practiced over and over and over. I have to say that with time, I've practiced less and less, so maybe the quality of my presentations has kind of decreased, you know, because I practiced less, but it's also because, one, teachers were not that demanding at the end of the degree, you know what I mean? Like, in the last few years, they weren't that demanding, but also, because you get confident. It's like, okay, we've done this a lot. You know what I mean? Because I majored in business in college, so we were doing presentations every now and then. Like every other week, we were literally doing a presentation. So you kind of get used to that. You know what I mean? And I really remembered, like, there were some of the, some of the cool kids in the class. Every class has the cool kids, and I was never a cool kid. But I would notice that the cool kids would get really nervous during presentations, and I'm like, oh, these people that present so confidently and all that shit, why the fuck are they struggling so hard? You know what I mean? Like, they would stumble upon their words, they would stutter, they would get nervous, they would shake. Some of them have even cried and shit. And it's like, why? But then I realized they didn't study. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. They didn't study. They didn't study the presentation. At least not enough to, like, know everything. You know what I mean? Because, like, when you don't practice enough, you're going to get blocked. You're going to be like, oh, what did I have to say next? And then you get nervous because you have to act quick. You know what I mean? Because it's there. You're doing it live, if that makes sense. It's not like an exam where you're like, oh, fuck, what do I say now? Okay, I'm going to go to the next question, and then I'm going to see if I can remember the other thing. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. It's a presentation. So you have to improvise. And it's hard to improvise when it's something that you have to memorize and you have to say it like that, because it's that information that you memorized. You know what I mean? So it's hard. And then I realized that that's the key to confidence. I know that I'm going to get, like, really, really confident when I finally learn my presentation and stuff. We've done it kind of last minute, but who does it? You know what I mean? But, like, once I do it and I practice and I practice and I practice, I know that I'm going to be confident about it because I'm going to know exactly what to say. You know what I mean? And I've always known exactly what to say in presentations. That's why I've always been confident whenever I presented, because let's say I'm in control. You know what I mean? Like, if I have to have a conversation with somebody in English, I'm in control because I can speak the language. If I have to do it in Spanish, I'm in control. I speak Spanish. You know what I mean? If somebody told me, okay, you're going to have a conversation with somebody right now in French. I don't know. I took French for 4 years in middle school, high school, cumulative, but I don't speak French. So if somebody spoke French to me, I would be like, oh, fuck. I know the basic sentences, but, like, I don't remember exactly how to say it. So you're like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be confident at all. Why? Because I don't speak French. You know what I mean? So or if let's say I'm learning French, but I'm not quite fluent yet, then I would get really nervous because it's like, fuck, like, I want to do this well, but I still don't really know. You know what I mean? So I think confidence comes from that, from skill, from practice. You know what I mean? You have to get comfortable doing something. You know what I mean? You have to practice something until you get comfortable with it. You know what I mean? You have to have skills. You have to be able to do things. You have to prove to yourself that you have that discipline, that you are committed to things, that you commit to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I want to do this thing well, I'm going to commit and I'm going to practice and I'm going to do this and I'm going to learn and I'm going to improve. You have to make those commitments to yourself, and you have to prove to yourself that you can really put in that effort and do it until you get confident doing it. You know what I mean? Like, that gives you confidence. Having skills, knowing things, practicing until you get good at something, being good at things, like, that gives you confidence. Obviously, if I went to what am I bad at? I don't fucking know. Something I don't fucking know. Like, maybe singing or acting or whatever. I've never really done it. So, let alone in front of people, you know what I mean? I sing in the shower, who doesn't? But you know what I mean? Like, if I were to do that in front of people or dance or whatever, I'd be like, shit, I've never really done this. So I would get nervous. But you know what I mean? Like, if you get better, if you practice, if you whatever, you're going to get confident. You know what I mean? Like, I'm confident, let's say, giving a presentation because I've done it before. But something I haven't done, of course I'm not going to be confident because I've never done it, or because I'm not really that good at it. You know what I mean? So that's what you have to prove to yourself. Okay, what am I good at? What am I not good at? What do I need to improve? Do you know what I mean? We're not confident in every single scenario. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, sports, I suck at sports. I'm not confident when it comes to sports because I suck at it. You know what I mean? Like, coordination, for some reason, like, it's easier for me when it comes to, like, dancing and stuff because I like dancing. But, like, for instance, basketball, oh my freaking God. Whenever you have to, like, do that, like, shoot for the basket or whatever the fuck you call it, like, you have to do, like, 1, 2, 3 or whatever steps. And then you have to, like, raise one of your legs. I don't remember which one it was. And then with the other hand, I think it was with the opposite hand, I don't remember, you have to shoot, if that makes sense. Or something like that. And I don't remember what you had to do with your other hand. I think you had to do it like that. I don't fucking know. I don't remember. But I never fucking got it. 1, because I don't care. And 2, I was never confident because I never practiced enough. I wouldn't be confident if somebody told me, let's play a fucking basketball match. You're one of the people that's going to play. No. I would be standing like this, waiting for it to end. That's it. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about when it comes to confidence. So yeah, practice, skill, determination, I guess, showing up for yourself, commitment to yourself. And yeah, just practice makes perfect. And practice makes, because nobody's perfect, but perfect makes confident. But if you're not perfect, well, perfectionism, if you get closer to that, let's say, you're confident. I'm making a fool of myself. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Just get a skill. What do you need to be good at? Get good at it. Practice and practice and practice until you get confident. And then you're gonna, yeah. And then the fear is gonna be gone. So yeah. Bye guys. I hope this helped somebody out. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.